Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Radio Network and Star Nations Communications from Home. Tuesday night, October 3rd. I know, we're in October already. What happened to June, July, August, and September? It just flew by. Of course, we've had so much interesting and good stuff happening in Star Nations, and it keeps us really busy. And so I think that's part of the thing about making time fly is because we are busy and we're definitely in the expansive mode. And it's fun. It's fun stuff. But tonight is Tuesday night, October 3rd. And here in Tomo, Wisconsin, where I live, it's cloudy and sprinkly, and it's in the low 70s, and it's humid for early October. And so, and actually I can hear light thunder in the distance. So the thunder beings are with us tonight. And just when I was about to say that, look who pops into the chat room. But my NAMI, Denise Iwana Francisco. She is my NAMI, my sister, and she is also my business partner for Star Nations Everything. So tonight I have with me a special guest. She came to us, she lives in Michigan, and her name is Brandaleen Johnson, and she is a contributing writer, a guest writer for Star Nations magazine. And she has an article in the October issue coming out on October 10th. And I just saw the layout of her article. I think it was yesterday, and it's fantastic. And so with that, I want to tell you a little bit about Brandaleen before we bring her on. Okay. So Brandaleen is a nature-loving person. She is very, very interested in the law of attraction. In fact, she calls herself a junkie of law of attraction. She's also an author, a psychic medium, a spiritual coach, and an educator. Her mission is to help people awaken to their gifts, align their soul's purpose, and ignite their lives and world-changing businesses. I like her. I really do. We have lots of things in common. She works with clients locally in where she lives, which is in Traverse City, Michigan. She also works internationally and, of course, via the internet, right? That's what we're doing right now. You can find out more about her and her courses and her service when you visit her website at brandaleen.com. And I'll put that in the chat notes, and also we'll bring it up on screen in just a little bit. She does podcasting, and it's called Craving Consciousness, and it's in iTunes. So we're going to bring Brandaleen on. Here we go. Hi there.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, sure. When you first contacted me about submitting an article for Star Nations magazine, I was very interested because of the title that you gave me, How to Stay on Your Unicorn. What wouldn't draw a person in on that? It's like, so thank you so much for submitting that article to our magazine. I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. How did you find us?
Well, I used to take Denise's class when she would come to Traverse City and do the art of being a seer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I first found you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been following you all on social media since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I see some of your contributing, articles and other writers. So I thought this would be the perfect platform to share my message.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you certainly do fit into the Star Nations community. And, if you went to Dana's classes, that's the reason why. And because really what we've done here is we've built a really loving community is what we've done. And we also know each other from different classes that we've taken or taught together. And so it's fun. It's fun. It's nice to have you among us, and we get to see you be live. And that's something you and I talked about when we did our practice audio, testing our audio. We were talking about the app that we use here at Star Nations for our shows, and that's the Be Live TV app. And that app allows us to do these kind of interviews, a live stream on Facebook. And has been such a blessing because that way we can actually have people like you come on the show and talk about what you do. So can you tell us a little about when you were writing your article, right? How to stay on your unicorn. First of all, where did you get that title and why unicorns?
Well, it's kind of fairyistic, I guess you would say. It's a lot of spiritual people are saying your unicorn, it's magical. I'm super connected with the fairy realm and all different types of realms. Um, but one of the reasons why I wrote that was because I truly love to share my actual human experience. And sometimes at 1 minute your life could be going just amazing and you're on your unicorn, like I like to say, and then the very next 5 minutes you absolutely have all these self-doubts and you don't even know what you're doing, and I call that falling off your unicorn. So I wanted to put together something to kind of share the tools that I use to stop those limiting beliefs
Mm-hmm.
and to get back on your unicorn.
Yeah. So when you talk about the unicorn, you're actually talking about, here, we're going to do this. You're actually talking about your inner magic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wonderful feeling that you have when you're in alignment with source energy, and
Mm.
you know you're in alignment with source energy. That feeling you get in your stomach, that makes you feel empowered and enlightened, and yes, and you're like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And I think we all recognize how that feels because we've all experienced at some point, even if it's just for a couple of seconds, because it's indescribable. You're joyful, you're happy, you're confident, you're in your game, right?
In your game, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Can you see this picture if I put it up solo? Can you do that? Do you see that?
I see stars and some trees.
Okay. Because it's a little bit of a wide shot and I know that you're on your camera. And this happens to be the image that I found for to go along with your article. And what it is the silhouette of unicorns against a night sky, a stars and a moon.
Oh,
Okay, and it has a woman riding one of the unicorns.
I love it.
I know, it's so pretty. It really is. Yeah, we're going to take that off. And what I'm going to do is I want to show. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. This is the cover of the October issue.
Nice.
And while we're talking, I did an article about rights of Indigenous people, so that's why we have Indigenous women on the cover. But I put your article, How to Stay on Your Unicorn, of course, on the front cover because you're a featured contributor.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! So I'm hoping that you'll like how we put together your article for you. So when you write your articles or anything you write, how does spirit bring that information to you?
I like that you asked that. I feel that I get in the zone when I start writing. And those just I'm clairsentient, so I feel flip floppies in my stomach, and that's when I know that spirit's talking to me. And it's really to help people live a better life, to give people hope, and to give them tools to help them get out of those dark spots. And really, when you introduced me about being the law of attraction junkie, 100% of the information that usually flows through me is to help people get back into alignment with the law of attraction.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. and talking about law of attraction, because that is a really interesting topic for me. One of the things that I'm going to ask our audiences to do is to like and to share this live stream, because like vibrational people, well, it's going to be easier for them to find us, right? And so we're going to ask our audience to please share, and then and also like this show. And you can share, and I just did it on my phone. And if you could do that for us, we'd appreciate that. We really would. Because the law of attraction, what attracted you? How did you find it? How did it attract you?
You know, what's funny is one of my friends, when I used to live in Las Vegas, she gave me the book, The Secret. And for some strange reason, I left it sitting on my nightstand for years. And I even moved across the country to here in Traverse City, Michigan, and I never even read it. But it was about 3.5 years ago that I was feeling such dis-ease in my financial department that I thought to myself, there has to be a solution to just paying bills until, going through this society motion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I found Abraham Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of made sense. And I remember laying in the grass, looking up to the sky and saying, okay, this is where I'm at now. And I'm going to study this. I'm going to find my way out, and I'm going to be an example for other people to find more happiness and find more abundance in their life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how that what we think, what we feel, what we say is all a part of that attraction. Like energy meeting like energy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And really, the more I got into developing my spirituality and the more I got into meditation, that's when I could feel even my chakra system
Mm-hmm.
opening or closing when I'm either in connection with source energy or when I'm disconnecting. And I become so fascinated with frequency and alchemy and quantum physics and how it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because everything's energy, and that's what the law of attraction is. It's energy and motion.
That we're all interconnected. And so no matter what we do, we affect someone or something else in our world. And mm-hmm. the world is everything, right? Because it's the whole thing, the whole universe. One of the things that you and I had talked about with the law of attraction, I had mentioned that I had seen the very first video that they did on The Secret. Way back when, I want to say early 2000s. I don't remember when it came out. And that was the one that had the Hickses in it. And they had pulled out of the video because it kind of diverged for them. They didn't really want to get into the materialistic end of things. And that's basically was the format for the video, right? But what I wanted to share is that, and I had to dig this out of the library. I'm going to show this. I see if they don't get too much of a glare on it. The Science of Getting Rich. This is the book, and this is how long ago I got it. It's on CD. It's a book that was published in 1910 by Wallace D. Wattles, and The Secret is based on his writing. And you and I were talking about that, and you had mentioned another author that I think we should mention to our audience, because not many people may have heard of her either.
Right. So her name is Florence Scovel Shinn. So, and the middle name is Scvoell, I think, Scovel. Florence Scovel Shinn. And she's written, I think, 4 books, but you can find all of them compiled into a book called The Writings of Florence Scovel Shinn. And I read that years ago, but didn't apply it to the law of attraction until I started understanding what the law of attraction was. And I thought, that's exactly what this woman was writing. And that was back early in the 1900s, just like the book you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? And I know I misspelled her name. I put it in the chat room. But, you know, we can, if you Google her, if you even get close to her name, it will come up and see what you find out about her. You never know. Some of that ancient, I call it ancient, some of that ancient writing is appropriate for today. Then the language they might have written in, it might be sound a little funny to us, you know, because they wrote differently at the turn of the century. But the information is very appropriate for some of the things that we're even seeing today, all these decades later, a century later. So, Brandaleen, when can you tell us a little bit more about your services, what you do? What's your services to the community?
Sure. So I'm an international branding and marketing specialist and also a spiritual advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said in the intro, I like to help people awaken to their gifts. So I have online courses that teach intuition and mediumship development, because when that happened to me about 6 years ago, it rocked my world. It rocked my reality. I'm 100% different person because of it. And my life became absolutely magical when I discovered a completely different reality. So I felt compelled that I really had to reach out and start teaching this.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that. And then some of my students that were taking that and becoming extremely gifted didn't have the tools to step forward and kind of like put it on some sort of platform where they could serve the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to work in commercial real estate as a marketing specialist. So that marketing is natural to me. So I
Mm-hmm.
started coaching people to develop their business and their brand.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of sprinkled throughout that, and like helping people step out of that old reality of going through the motions and just, working to pay bills until we pass away
Mm-hmm.
was a huge passion for me, because I left corporate America 7 years ago because it just didn't feel right. Something was wrong, and I think it was my soul awakening, saying no, no, no.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I like to do, is like really empower people to, yes, you have something special inside of you, and yes, you came here this time to make an impact on this world,
Mm-hmm.
and to help them see that, believe it, and create something out of it.
So, and that brings us right back to the unicorn, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just stay on their unicorn.
Exactly. Now, what happens when somebody falls off their unicorn?
Oh my goodness, the limiting beliefs, the what ifs, the why, who am I to be great? The am I sure that I'm worthy of something? Just the self-doubts and the worrying and the anxiety, and then when you get into that mode, what happens when we talk about the law of attraction, you start attracting more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it was important to write this article and share this message, to give people the tools to stay vibrating at that vibration that they actually want to be at, so that they can manifest more of this wonderfulness into their life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about vibration, how do they know when they're vibrating at near optimal or at optimal?
It's all about your emotions, right?
Right.
Your emotion is the frequency that you're at. So if you're feeling sad or depressed, then it needs to be shifted right away. And with the law of attraction, it's 27 seconds. If you hold a feeling for 27 seconds, the universe has no other choice than to start moving energy on your behalf and bringing you more of whatever it is that you're vibrating at for that 27 seconds.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And we also know that our emotions are the fuel that catapults those desires, those wants, those needs, the things that you're trying to create into the physical world. And so we really have to be mindful and conscious of our emotions. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to check back in minute by minute, second to second, hour by hour, day by day.
So if you were giving somebody a quick tip, because we're almost at the end of our 20 minutes, to give a quick tip on how to how to shift your emotions into a different frequency, what would you suggest?
You have to, for me, like meditation was huge for me to be able to even catch the fact that I was thinking thoughts that weren't serving me, and then immediately changing them by either turning on your favorite song, to taking a walk and going out in nature, um, grounding. It's important to be grounded and be present in this moment. I guess if there was one tip,
Mm-hmm.
I would say be here now.
Mm-hmm.
Be here now with me right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think George Lopez, that's a George Lopez quote. You mean right now, right now? Yes. Right now.
Right now.
Now, the thing is that we have all kinds of tools and, gifts that we already came into our physical life with, right? And the thing is to remember to use them. And when we're not feeling quite up to par, when we're no longer on the unicorn, that's when we need to remember to utilize those tools and those gifts.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the fact, the going out in nature. And if you can't do that, if you're in the middle of a building somewhere, and just taking just a moment or two and take that deep breath, right? And imagine, your favorite place in nature. Imagine it. And that's my favorite one. And to be right now, one of the things that I think we do in the United States especially is that we're not really with the person that we're talking to many times, is that they're telling us something, and we're in our heads trying to formulate the next question, or we're moving ahead to try to figure something out. We're not attending to what this other but the energy going on between you and another person, right?
So very true.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Brandaleen. I appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to be with us and to spend some time with us and share with us about how you wrote your article and why, and what your mission is here. And we appreciate that.
I am super grateful. I'm extending my gratitude for you having me on here as well.
It's been fun. And, Brandaleen and I have been corresponding by email for a few months, going back and forth, and send me your bio and your bio picture and, la, la, la. You know what that's like. And then, so when we're able to actually get down to getting ready for the interview and doing the sound check to make sure that both of us, our microphones were good and everything was good for tonight, that was the first time we actually spent time together where we could actually see each other.
Yeah.
And I knew I like this woman. She's fun. She's fun.
I love that. Thank you. I love connecting with like minds, because you just immediately can feel like we're just soul sisters. We're here now together, and I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you have a good rest of the evening, and I have a couple of housekeeping stuff to share with our audience. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Wasn't that fun? I mean, who knew that it was going to be about the law of attraction, right? When you read the title, how to stay on your unicorn. And I knew that we had to do the law of attraction, because that's really the backstory to Brandaleen's article, and what the core of it is. And I love it. Love that stuff. Speaking of law of attraction, I'm going to show you, this is the current issue, right? This is the current issue, Star Nations magazine. This is the September issue. I just love the puppy and the kitty on that front of that one. Yeah, this is the current issue. And you saw the cover for the upcoming, I'm going to show it again. Let's see if we can do this. Here we are. This is the October 2017 issue, coming out on October 10th, and we are right smack dab in the middle of getting it done. We got a couple of things we need to get done before the 10th, and then you guys will have it in your digital, as a digital, Apple smartphones, tablets, both for Android and digital. But you know what? Look, if you guys like to hold on to it, we actually have it as a print on demand through our partners at magcloud.com. But they also are the ones that help us with the PDF version and also the web viewer. So however you like to read your material, we have it for you in the magazine. And then two of my favorite books, right? Missing Nana by Minnie Kansman. And, you know, you guys get to see these about once a week with me, right? And I like to show the back of this one too, because the artwork in this book is fantastic. And the artist who did the renderings for Minnie's book is Christine Pollock. And it's a children's book, but really, as Minnie says, it's from age 3 to 103. And the crux of it is that at some point in our life, we're going to experience a loved one who has walked on, crossed over, transitioned, passed away, and learning how to deal with the grief. And Minnie's connection with the nature spirits, it comes through this book for them to help us how to deal with our grief, how to move through it and learn from it. It's one of the, and this, of course, this is also available in print and as an ebook. And you can get it from lulu.com, amazon.com, or Barnes & Noble. All right. And here is Julie Hedges' book, The Tarot Journey. This is all about an ancient language called the Tarot. And what Julie has done, she has written some really fantastic articles for us in Star Nations magazine. And what we did is we compiled them into this book. And this book has been touted as, for those people who are just learning tarot, it's a really good beginner's book. If you are a intermediate user, it helps you build the confidence to become a really, really masterful person with the tarot, with that ancient language. And if you're already a teacher, many teachers are getting that book to gift to their students. And so also available in print on demand and as an ebook. Okay. And lulu.com, Barnes & Noble, and amazon.com. And you know what? I had a great day today. I really did. And I have to share this. I know I try to keep to 30 minutes because that's what I promised our audience when we started this. But I have to share this. Today was a monumental day at Star Nations. And why? Is because we started our radio shows at Be Live TV. We had two shows. Live stream shows going this morning. The Mystic's Heart with Denise Iwana Francisco as host, and also Chakra Sessions with Polly Joel LeBay. And those two shows kicked off our new home, and it was exciting times this morning. And of course, tonight it kind of puts a different spin on Star Nation's communications from home. This particular show started as a way for me to understand and get to know Be Live TV app and what it can do for us and how we can use it. And so I was kind of the guinea pig, and I volunteered for it. I jumped at it. And so this show actually kind of takes another turn, is that the show is definitely a part of Star Nation's radio network. It just isn't a standalone show. It's part of the network. And so we're hoping that you are going to join the shows, the 19 different shows we have throughout the month, and look for all of those promos that are coming out. Next show is coming up is tomorrow night, and that is Balancing Heaven and Earth with Denise Iwana, and also the Sandra Herrick show with Sandra Herrick. And that's going to be special because they're going to team up a little bit with that one. So yeah, and Dana, here, this is what Dana's saying in the chat room about this morning. It was great fun. It really was. I mean, she does empowerment power deck cards that she has created along with artist David Fix. And so she does card draws on Tuesday mornings. And it's a well-loved show when we were in Blog Talk Radio, right? And I tell you what, seeing the cards and listening to her voice and seeing her read and do for the audience was something else this morning, and it was very powerful. So thank you, Nami, for doing that this morning. With that, I would like to wish all of you a good evening, a good rest of the Tuesday, and we'll see you next week here on Star Nation's Communications from Home at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so Bama Mina, that means in Potawatomi, until we see each other again. Good night, everybody.